Hey friends, Jacqueline here. Based on all the amazing things we are seeing happen online, we are predicting this is going to be one of the busiest seasons for e-commerce ever. Are you ready for it? No matter what stage of business you're in, the one thing we do know is you need to show up and create content that actually matters to your customers during this 2020 holiday season. But wait, you may be thinking, sounds great, but what do I actually say to them without being salesy? Don't worry, friends, we've got you covered this holiday season. Introducing 101 plus content ideas beyond the discount 2020 edition, a bundle of tools, prompts, and video training that helps you create content this holiday season to reach out to your customers beyond just offering discounts, which is uber important to having a profitable Q4. This is created specifically for you to use during this 2020 holiday season. So, what's included? 101 plus content prompts to be used on social media, emails, and in live videos. 3 months of editable calendars filled with daily content ideas for marketing in 2020 quarter 4. Monthly checklists for 2020 holidays to inspire content and calendar prompts. 5 holiday plug-and-play scripts that will help you show up easily on video to stand out from the big guys. And this is one of our favorites, the easiest way to have a 12 days of holiday sales or a Cyber Month sales worksheet, plus video trainings and so much more. If you want to check it out, make sure to grab 101 content ideas beyond the holiday discount 2020 holiday edition. We wanted to make this holiday season as sweet as pumpkin pie that we are practically giving this away. Head to holidaycontentideas.com right now, and let's make this your most profitable holiday season ever.
Welcome to the Product Boss Podcast, where we help product-based businesses grow their sales and improve their strategies.
Hey everyone, I want to introduce you to my co-host and biz bestie, Mina Kunlo-Sitep, an Amazon guru that has built a multi-six-figure product-based business.
And introducing the other half of the Product Boss, Jacqueline Snyder. She has helped launch and grow over 500 fashion apparel and accessory brands, even one of her own.
And together, we share our inventory of secret weapons that will help you dig deep and do the work it takes.
Are you ready? Let's build together.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Product Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Jacqueline Snyder, with my festive co-host, Mina Kunlo-Sitep. Hey Mina.
Hey Jacqueline.
Today is a good one, friends, because guess what? The holiday season is upon us. And as we prep for the holiday season, a lot of you might be thinking, what kind of content can I be sending to my customers? How do I engage with them without always sounding so salesy or without sending promotions? And why is content in 2020, especially holiday content, different this year than any other time of year? So we're going to jump into that today.
Yeah. And that's why it's especially important is because holiday content is different anyways, right? In any other year. Well, 2020, it's especially different because we're having to pivot and adjust our businesses in the messaging that we give to our customers. So we want to always be connecting with them. So it is different anyways, and it's especially different for 2020.
Right. So let's talk about content and the 3 C's of content. So if you have listened to this podcast before, you may have heard us teach the 3 C's of content. If you have not, you can always head over and listen to the podcast episode number 132. And we go over the 3 C's of content. It's our live recording for Dallas market. But Mina, let's quickly tell them a little bit about the 3 C's of content that is our framework for content, our pillars, and it's calendar content, conversational content, and cornerstone content.
Yeah, it's our framework. And I really like to think of them as buckets that you need to be producing for your customers and getting it in front of them. So calendar content is one that we always talk about because that's where most people they only do calendar. And that's because you go off the calendar, major holidays and seasons like football season, back to school, Game of Thrones, winter is here, whatever it is that's pop culture or whether it's on the physical calendar, then that's where most of us will start. And that's calendar content.
It might even be like National Dog Day or, there's certain days that are not actual holidays, but they are based on the calendar. And that would be content that you would create around that. The
Right. If
next
it's
one,
top
go
of
ahead.
mind for your customer, right? You only
Right.
pick the ones that relate to them.
Right. They don't care about dogs. If they're cat people, then they may not be celebrating that day.
It's true. It's true.
So the second one would be conversational content. So conversational content is usually entertaining content, and it builds that connection with your audience and with your customers. So this is a thing of sort of like engagement and awareness about your product and brand, and it's got instant interaction. So this might be where you're doing polls, you're asking questions. There's things that are humorous. There's some things that are they create engagement and interaction.
Yeah, for sure. And I really think that Instagram, if we were to pick a platform that's like the golden child of conversational content, it would be Instagram because it's made to engage. There's the polls, there's the slider, there's the ask me a question, do this quiz. It's very quick, like snapping of the fingers where they can engage with you. And it's just those little touch points of them thinking that they're part of your world and you're part of their world.
Right. And then the third C in our pillars of content is cornerstone content. And that tends to be that foundational content about your brand. And it's something that actually matters to your customer.
Yeah, I think that this one is probably the one that people have the hardest time with because it's kind of the one that lasts forever. It's evergreen content and it matters the most to your brand and also matters the most to your customer. So it's one that it's really for building that loyalty over a long-term journey with them. And that is so important to get that in front of the customers as well.
Right. So cornerstone content might even be, we were just talking to one of our masterminders and she uses a certain product that is better for the environment. And the way that this product is made with this better for the environment product, that's cornerstone content. That's something that she's going to talk about, the recipe or the making of it or something that it stands for, right? Versus conversational content about that idea might be a poll on like, what do you think decomposes quicker, plastic or enamel? For example, or do you like to recycle? And that's something that someone can say yes or no to. And then let's say that is still something that is really important to your customer. For calendar content, let's say there is like a National Recycling Day or Earth Day, for example. That might be something that you really lean into with your customers because you know that calendar date's important and you can kind of see how that's linked throughout the entire brand.
Yeah, for sure. I think the ingredients one is really important because if you think about cornerstone, let's say you're a candle maker, you talk about the benefits of lavender. Those benefits are there from 6 months from now all the way to 10 years from now. That never changes, right? And that helps to build education around your brand.
Right, absolutely. So now let's jump into the idea of why this year's holiday experience is going to be different than past years and perhaps how content is going to need to adapt to meet the needs of your customers this year.
Yeah. I mean, why not? Because 2020 is unprecedented for everything else. So why wouldn't it be different, right? So I think it's just a shift of where people are and where their minds are and everything that's happening in their environment that's changing. So there's a holiday mood that happens every year. We all feel it. We all love it. We all cherish it. It's when we start hearing Christmas music and where we start smelling pumpkin spice or seeing pumpkin spice latte or seeing storefronts have, a holiday or a festive feel or just feeling like the mood of the entire, being on social media or even being local, all of it shifts to that holiday feel, right? Stepping into fall and feeling like, ooh, this is going to end at Christmas and it's going to be amazing.
And we are seeing it happen earlier and earlier normal times, right? And this year we've seen it happen as early as August. So something we came up with in the past Rock Your Holiday Promotions Challenge was follow the pumpkin spice latte. So what does that mean? If you follow the marketing efforts of a company like Starbucks, that's really cued in and they're spending all the millions of dollars on marketing and research of what their customers and consumers want, they realized that they were going to launch pumpkin spice lattes in August. Same with Halloween candy was coming out in August. This is pre-back to school or right at back to school time. And why is that? Well, some of the conversations we've had in our community is that people are they need a different experience, right? It's been a hard year globally, and they're starting to look for new experiences, different experiences, things to kind of just shift things up, especially if you've been staying home. And so I think the idea of fall weather coming, getting cozy, staying inside, the
Mhm.
scents, the smells, the taste, all of that is going to be something that really uplifts us a little
Yeah.
bit mentally. So the previous year holiday experiences, Mina, let's talk about that. So we could talk about the difference between what was in the past and what's going to happen this year.
Yeah, a really big one would be nostalgia. And I think that that's what we're all missing right now is nostalgia. We want to feel that. We're over 2020 and we want we want that back. We're kind of missing that and feeling like I wish I could get back to the holiday traditions or even the back to school experience that I can give my children, right? So we're kind of hoping to get a piece of that. So that's
Right.
one way.
And it's going to be recreated in lots of different ways. It's going to, the nostalgia or the Christmas, holiday, Thanksgiving, that whole
Mhm.
season, Hanukkah experience is going to be wrapped up into how do you get that if you can't do it the way you're used to. So it might be in more music being played at home or purchasing candles that kind of like set the scents and the feelings. It could be the movies that you're watching and, people cuddling up on the couch more and watching oldies, right? Those
Mhm.
oldies but goodies that kind of make you feel like it's the holidays because a lot of the traditional experiences like going out and shopping, like holiday traditions to small towns
Mhm.
or big towns, or we'd go into New York City, a lot of the actual physical in-person shopping where you've got Santa, outside and the Christmas decorations are
Ringing
just
a
like,
bell, right?
yeah, yeah, charity giving, the music where you're like annoyed that the Christmas music has come early, but now this year we're going to kind of miss it.
Yeah.
We may find ourselves playing holiday music a bit earlier in our homes
I'm
this
ready
year.
for it. I'm ready for it.
Your Amina's like September, let's do this.
Right. And so I think that's what we're seeing is before the holiday mood really consisted of that. We're talking 2019 and beforehand was the feeling of nostalgia. You're seeing the gift guides coming out. You're seeing the music playing and you're also seeing the traditions come to life. The beginnings of traditions, right? Ordering pajamas, for example, to take the Christmas photo. Christmas photos will not be the same as they were every other year, for example, because photographers aren't going to be coming to your house likely. So, yeah, a lot of that has changed. So, really be thinking about what it was before, and then we're shifting to 2020 version.
Right. So, what do we see? What we're predicting for the holiday experience this year? And when you're thinking about content for your customers, content for your followers, I think the first step that we want you to take when you're thinking about this content is nostalgia,
Mhm.
setting the mood, right? So, we want you to virtually set the mood for your customers through the content that you're sending out. It might be a hot cocoa recipe if you sell mugs. It might be, that feeling and sense of being home and what your candles or your soaps or your body lotions can bring to them. And if you think about the five senses. So I think the first thing for content we want you to do is set the experience, create the nostalgia in what you sell.
Yeah, and the easiest way to think about that would be tapping into the senses and the emotion, right? Nostalgia is all senses and emotions. Talking about how your candle smells like cinnamon or toasted marshmallow or warm cocoa, right? Um, Talking about Christmas music being in the background or touching the fuzzy, I don't know, knit socks that you have, right? Those are the senses, but really tapping into the emotion behind that. Why do they miss it? That's what the nostalgia piece comes in because your content will need that messaging. It will need to deliver an experience that they are like, ooh, I want to sit in this email because it feels so warm and cozy to me.
Right. And some of you might be thinking like, oh, that's all fine and good, ladies, but how? Like, what do I even say? So
Hmm.
we had created this amazing, amazing tool. It's called 101 Content Ideas Beyond the Discount, and it's our holiday edition. So a lot of you may have already signed up and invested into a year of content. This is different. This is our 101 Content Ideas Beyond the Discount holiday edition. And the reason we created this is it was super cued into the holidays. So what do your customers need to hear from you about? So we're not talking about promotions, but rather we're talking about content around these ideas. So you can even some content, like one of the prompts in this is my favorite holiday products from other brands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the perfect holiday products from our brand for you. So those are a couple things that are sort of, you're able to create content around it. And it might be something that helps with the mood or the sense that the things that they're missing.
Yeah, it gives you a chance to not think about it, honestly, because we're expecting our product bosses to be very busy. Not
Mhm.
only will this year be very different, but it will be busy in that you'll be shipping out things and you don't want to have to be thinking about what should I be saying, right? And we're going to make this available only until probably November, beginning of November, because by that time it'll be too late.
Right.
You actually should have an idea of what you're going to be talking about. You should be talking about it now, and it's just the start of school starting,
It's when pumpkin spice lattes are still in your cups and not, I say, the red cups with like the mocha and mint. That's
Uh-huh.
sort of a little bit too late to set that runway. And right now, setting that holiday mood or starting to be there for your customers the way they need you to be there for them during the season is going to start earlier.
Yeah, for sure. And then just knowing that these prompts, for example, aren't all sales prompts. That's one thing that as you go out through the holiday season, you should never be asking them constantly to buy from you. You also need to be, baking in your brand story, and you need to be giving them value and being helpful. That's the reason why they'll read your emails during this time. It's not just specifically just to get a discount, let's say.
Right. I mean, even in this, something that's new that we've never done before is it's actually got a 3-month calendar, which with every single day with a prompt on it that you could show up and do a live. It's topic that you could talk about on your Instagram. It's something you can create an email about. And it definitely goes between the 3 C's.
Mhm.
So what's conversational, what's cornerstone, and what's calendar based. And the calendar stuff, even in there, we have built in, because remember, voting season in the US, there's going to be a lot happening around election day,
Mhm.
post-election day, and the calendar is really built to help you navigate that, because it's also going to turn into the busiest time of the year for product-based businesses, right? November leading up to Black Friday. But then we also have this US election put in. So we have ways in there prompted for you to navigate. How do you sell? How do you talk about the election as it's happening or not talk about it? And how do you still remain that you don't sort of seem like you're missing the boat if something's happening, right?
Yeah, you don't want to be tone deaf. It is
Tone
a
deaf is the
big
word.
deal. It is a
Yes.
big deal that this election year happened to fall in 2020. I mean, seriously. And so it's a big deal. You don't want to be tone deaf to it, but you also want to make sure that you understand the mood shift that happens during that time as well.
Right. So that's creating the shift, right? The experience, the traditions, all of that. I think another thing that we want you to focus on would be the idea of family gatherings. So people coming together and giving gifts, gift exchanges, schools where, we would have white elephant parties every year with our friends. A lot of this is not going to happen this year.
Right?
And
Friendsgiving will not be Friendsgiving like how it's
it'll be
happened.
Podsgiving, whatever your pod looks like.
Or it'll be virtual Thanksgiving,
Right. I mean,
Friendsgiving.
we had holidays this year where my whole family, we got on, Zoom together. So we're going to have to replace that a bit. Or for example, I threw my sister's virtual baby shower this year.
Mhm.
I'm in New Jersey. Most of them are in California, but we weren't getting together for it nonetheless. So what did we do? We actually ended up purchasing from Festive Gal, and we bought all these amazing crowns. It said, "Oh baby," and I sent these gift boxes to everyone to open together, and there were little games inside, and it created that experience. It could be a new tradition if it's a family thing, because there's
Mhm.
also times where, like, my brother lives in Texas. He doesn't come back for every holiday. So there's
Yeah.
something beautiful about actually getting together on the holidays these years and actually being like, yeah, we can all show up together on Zoom or FaceTime or whatever it is.
Right. It kind of forced us into making it happen because then it was like, oh, here's the way to do it. For my daughter, she turned 10 this year, which is a really big birthday. So what I did was I bought 2 cakes for her. One was for the Zoom call with the rest of the family so they could sing happy birthday. And one was just us where we ate 2 cakes, and we like, but it was the experience of that, right? It felt different. It felt like, ooh, I want her to remember her 10th birthday and this is what we did. we weren't ever going to be put in that position to force us to be like, hey, let's go online and actually make ourselves do this unless it was something like this. So there is like a silver lining to it, like what you said.
Right. Connectedness. So you as product-based business owners, as what else are you going to deliver to your customers? What other content? It could be ideas and ways that they can recreate these options. Like I just forwarded Mina an email from a product business that was saying 5 ways to set up, a workplace in your home for homeschool. So they sold furniture, but one of the emails that they sent us, it wasn't selling us many things, but it was saying like, these are 5 different ways that you can organize your space, right? And giving tips. So that's content that's helpful. That's not directly selling, but is helpful to the current situation. So it's the same idea for you. You may need to connect for your customers and say, can't be with mom this year? We'll wrap up a gift for you and send it, or think ahead, or these are 5 different ways to do virtual Hanukkah.
Right.
Right. And so when you're thinking about content and you're thinking about what you can deliver, because this has to be of value to your customers, there's things that you can give them that are not actual things that are actually worth so much to them.
Right.
And that would be one of them.
Another thing that it will be changing is charity. Right. This is the charity time of year of gift giving in a way of monetary. It will be more monetary this year instead of going to a physical, let's say like soup kitchen or
like
helping.
The toy drops.
Yeah, toy drops. And also I think it will be different in that a lot of it will be via experience. So there's a lot of things that happened during COVID, one of them being that seniors in senior living weren't able to get visitors. So letters written to them, so that would help them with thriving when they weren't able to connect with other people, right? They'd get stuff in the mail and they could hear from all these different people. So even that shift of having your family do different traditions this year as far as giving back, and that'll shift a little bit as well.
Right. Absolutely. So another thing to talk about is that this is going to sound a little, I don't know, controversial, but you're a small business, and small businesses are really, they say it's the elections in the US. For example, small businesses are the backbone of America, right? Small businesses are the ones that employ the majority of people in this country, for example. So you are a small business, and part of the giving back that consumers can understand or recognize is actually buying from small businesses.
Right.
And the content that you can also transfer or give or have people follow along with is letting them know I'm a small business. Your purchase is, out of my home, or I'm homeschooling and here are my kids and they help me pack it. Or, every time you make a purchase, like our family does a happy dance. So there's other ways to say it's not charity, but it's the idea of people want to do something.
Right.
And
they're being more thoughtful with their dollar.
They are. And letting them know that peek behind the curtain or bringing them in on the experience of like, this is a family business is something that is such value to your customers, and that they'll feel better if they purchase from you versus buying, some random candle from wherever from the Target $3 section.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. People are buying from people more than ever before. And so that's something we will see definitely, is that they want to be more thoughtful for their dollar, and they want to see that it actually impacts somebody else, right? My dollar is impacting another family, and that gives me the permission to spend it.
So if you feel like you need more support in this and coming up with the content that you want to send them, calendar content, conversational content, cornerstone content, this 101 content ideas is there for you.
And super affordable.
Super affordable. We'll put a link in the show notes for you to just click on over and take a look at yourself. But we teach you about the 3 C's in there. There are over 101 prompts in here that will help you think about things that you can show up and say. And this is just in the list. For example, let's see, I'm trying to find a good one to share with you. This is conversational in a way. How I organize my desk to stay on top of things during the holidays. That's something that kind of doesn't have to do with your product, but people might find it interesting, right? Or favorite beverage for the holiday season. That's something that they find interesting. But we also have things in here. So for example, share how your product meets a need for the holidays.
Right.
Right.
And
Go
I
ahead.
think the favorite drink one, I want to go back to that a little bit because remember, right now you're trying to get them to answer you or engage with you. They will not engage with you if it's something that's very difficult for them to understand or answer back. You need to get them into the rhythm of engaging with you or hearing from you. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit like crickets, and then you're going to show up with the sale and they're going to be like, "Where'd you come from?" We build in the conversational content because that's what it's the easiest amount of friction for them to engage with you.
And like Mina said about being tone deaf, we don't want to be tone deaf to politics or to the global pandemic. We also don't want to be tone deaf to the experiences your customers want to have or
Mm-hmm.
maybe wanting to have earlier. So there's such beauty you can bring to them through sharing on social media or in email or updating on your website or delivering of your products to them. They're going to be small delights. They're going to be things that delight them and excite them because there's a lot of other things happening. So that's what we really wanted to share with you. And the other thing is that, in the 101 content ideas, there's all the calendar prompts. So things like when it's Giving Tuesday or,
Small Business Saturday. I mean, those
yeah,
are obvious, but there's so many in there.
Ugly Sweater Day. There's things like that where you can talk about it. Plus there's the calendar. Plus we have a checklist in there for you to do we did the 12 days of Christmas or a Cyber Month sale. So we're actually helping you figure out sales in here. And we have scripts. So we actually have a few scripts that you can just jump online and they're targeted scripts that would help you then be the voice, be the face of your brand and just talk about your product. Because sometimes a lot of you don't show up online because you're sort of afraid of, what to say or how to say it. So we help you overcome that as well.
Which brings us to our most important point, and that is you need to show up online. The purchases are going to be made online, and every small business, no matter how small you are, should be shifting to online. However, whatever that means for you, right? What platforms you're on, where you're showing up, how you're speaking to your customers. If they can't find you online, there's no way they even know you exist, So, I mean, getting on there to talk about content, practicing and getting into starting that snowball of them getting to see you and buy from you is going to be done online.
Absolutely. So make sure to click that link down below in the show notes if you are interested in this. We want to help as many of you as possible because we actually believe that if the rest of this year indicates anything about online sales and consumer habits, online purchasing is going to be through the roof bonkers.
Through the roof bonkers. I mean, literally, we talked about
that.
I believe that is the technical terms, through the roof bonkers. And then Shopify, for instance, we've mentioned this before. We talk about it during Rock Your Holiday promotions, but they already this is months ago. So this was even before. It's even better now, but that online sales are equivalent to Black Friday every single day, equivalent or better. And they're only seeing their own platform. They're only seeing Shopify platform. So just imagine all the other online transactions that are through the roof right now as well. So we're seeing that for the majority of our small businesses that we work with directly.
Our students and our masterminders, it's every time we talk to them, it's like, well, I'm higher than I was last year. I'm, 1,000% higher, or I've had my best month ever. And it just keeps getting better. And we want this for all of you. And I think one thing I want you to understand is Mina said this, the action takers are the money makers. Those of you that start to take action on this, you start to show up now. Content, you're just creating content. And when I say create content, no, we're not telling you to go, become a real star and I don't know, TikTok and do all that stuff. But you're showing up with interesting content that will have your customer follow along, that they will remember you as they start to go through the season. And when you do have your holiday sales, when you do rock your holidays with your promotions, they're going to remember and they're going to be like, ooh, yeah, I've been following this person for the last 2-3 months. And now they're having a sale. Amazing. I'm going to purchase from them. And this is really, it will be the easiest time for you to gain new customers and followers because people are in the buying mood.
Yeah.
So whether you're telling them what your favorite, holiday drink is, or you're telling them what your best-selling product is for the holiday season, there will be a call to action, which would be, what's your favorite, holiday beverage? Drop it in below in the comments. Amazing. I love that too. So you've got them to take super simple action. So then when you say, this candle is our best-selling candle for the fall season, make sure to click the link below and check it out on my website. They have now learned to listen and you're asking for them to take action, which is that call to action, and they're clicking it over. It will work. We've seen it happen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. We get DMs from all of you telling us all these amazing things that are happening. We want it for all of you. So make sure to keep us in the loop too, because we are ready to rock the holidays with you as well.
Yeah, thanks everybody. One last thing before we go. We created this podcast as a reminder that you are not alone. Growing a product business is hard, and we want to help you through it. So thank you so much for listening, because we truly appreciate it.
Yeah, and we want to give a special shout out to those of you that have left a review. Thank you. You know that we read every single one of them, including this one from C. Wamni. Sorry if I messed that one up. And it's titled, I Love It. So it says, Nina and Jacqueline are amazing. I have been enjoying their interviews and the guests they have on. There are a lot of great stories and they're very motivating. I'm very touched that they have been supportive of Black-owned businesses and have given platforms to many Black women in business. Thank you for leaving this review, and the honor truly is ours to be able to interview such incredible women.
Yes, thank you for leaving that review for us and for saying, I love it. I feel like that's our motto for everything these days.
That's our reply.
Yeah.
So, you know, we love reading these, and these really help us reach more people and help more small businesses, which is our mission. So thank you to all of you that have left a review. Hey friends, Jacqueline here. Based on all the amazing things we are seeing happen online, we are predicting this is going to be one of the busiest seasons for e-commerce ever. Are you ready for it? No matter what stage of business you're in, the one thing we do know is you need to show up and create content that actually matters to your customers during this 2020 holiday season. But wait, you may be thinking, sounds great, but what do I actually say to them without being salesy? Don't worry, friends, we've got you covered this holiday season. Introducing 101 Plus Content Ideas Beyond the Discount 2020 edition, a bundle of tools, prompts, and video training that helps you create content this holiday season to reach out to your customers beyond just offering discounts, which is uber important to having a profitable Q4. This is created specifically for you to use during this 2020 holiday season. So, what's included? 101 plus content prompts to be used on social media, emails, and in live videos. 3 months of editable calendars filled with daily content ideas for marketing in 2020 quarter 4. Monthly checklists for 2020 holidays to inspire content and calendar prompts. 5 holiday plug-and-play scripts that will help you show up easily on video to stand out from the big guys. And this is one of our favorites, the easiest way to have a 12 days of holiday sales or a Cyber Month sales worksheet, plus video trainings and so much more. If you want to check it out, make sure to grab 101 Content Ideas Beyond the Holiday Discount 2020 Holiday Edition. We wanted to make this holiday season as sweet as pumpkin pie that we are practically giving this away. Head to holidaycontentideas.com right now, and let's make this your most profitable holiday season ever.